Look at you, young sisters and brothers. Here you are in front of me, young men, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16 years of age. What are you doing with yourself? The signs of being a man today is that you must smoke. Signs of being a man today is you must take a drink. If you don't smoke or you don't drink in this society, you're not a real man. So you must be the best men that there are on earth because of how many cigarettes you smoke and how much alcohol you drink. If this is the sign of manhood, why didn't God give us all a mother with a breast that distills whiskey to us rather than milk? With each puff that we inhale, at least 4,000 different chemicals come into our bodies. These include toxic hydrogen cyanide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide gases, and 4 dozen compounds such as benzopyrene and radioactive polonium-210. All are known carcinogens. All these chemical vapors in tobacco smoke get deposited in the mouth, the nose, the throat, the lungs in a coating of burnt resins called tar. It is in this tar that most of the cancer-inducing potential of tobacco smoke lies. Then, in a scenario typical of chronic heavy drinkers, most of whom also smoke, our smokers feel thirsty, and they wash down that smoke coating in their mouths and throat with whiskey, wine, or beer. The alcohol in his drink is not in itself a carcinogen, but it may act as a solvent, dissolving the tar-trapped tobacco poisons and easing the transport of carcinogens across the membranes of the body. Are you listening? Yes. The smoker continues to drink. Soon he lights another cigarette and inhales deeply. Behind his embattled lungs, meanwhile, his liver has gone on full alert to save his life. This 3-pound chemical factory called the liver, which cleans most toxins from the bloodstream, reacts to alcohol as a foreign substance and metabolizes 95% of it into other chemicals. But in turning its energy to clearing just 1/2 ounce of pure alcohol, the amount in a standard drink per hour from the drinking smoker's blood, the liver's other metabolic functions suffer a sharp decrease. Now, if the liver is to clear the toxins from your body, and every time you put alcohol in your system, the liver is on alert and goes to work to cleanse your system of this poison, thereby sharply decreasing its function of clearing other poisons from your body, then the drinker and the smoker continues to build up toxins in the body until you become a toxic waste dump site, getting ready to be buried somewhere. Toxic waste. Are you listening? While battling alcohol, the liver puts aside another important function, clearing fat from the bloodstream. An excess of fatty substances called lipids and fat byproducts begin to clog the bloodstream. Look at you now. At the same time, chemicals from cigarette smoke are increasing the coagulating tendency of the blood. As thickening blood begins to clog the capillaries, Blood cells carrying food and oxygen struggle to reach each of the body's cells. You're a smoker and a drinker at a young age, but at the same time, you're producing sperm. At the same time, you're producing an egg that will one day be the future of you and the future of life on the earth. You're producing an egg that is already deficient. You're producing a sperm that is already deficient. And this deficient sperm is going to contact a deficient egg. And you wonder why you only live 60, 70, 40, 30 years, while the old patriarchs lived 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 years, and you can't make 100 without falling apart. It is not that God is against you, it is that you are against God in your lifestyle. Now, what is the effect of this on a pregnant woman? Here you're already beaten by the man. He beat you up so that you are carrying your baby filled with bitterness. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. You got a little more time? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pregnant women should understand that when alcohol and tobacco are present together, according to medical scientists, they perform a synergistic function. Even though one is bad and the other is bad, but when both of them get together, they actually increase the toxic potential of the both of them in their synergistic function. So when you put that stuff in your body when you are pregnant, here you are inhaling carbon monoxide. Nicotine is in your blood, and your blood's oxygen carrying depends on it, is now taken over by that carbon monoxide. I want to talk to you about how you legislate or give to your children death while you're carrying them in the womb. You've seen now where those who use crack, males who use crack, males who use heroin, it is already in your bloodstream. And if it is in your bloodstream, it is now in your testicles. So when you manufacture sperm, the sperm, which is the new life of you that will go on after you are dead, you have already sentenced your babies to death before they're even born into the world. Do you see why ignorance is a curse? The white man all day long. But your ignorance is your worst enemy. And if we don't impart knowledge to our people, we who have it will be punished by God for keeping such knowledge from a sleeping, ignorant people. Are you listening? Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. Crack, cocaine, heroin, alcohol affect the sperm. Crack, cocaine, alcohol affect the egg. Now a defective egg has been fertilized by a defective sperm. The defective sperm and egg is now trying to grip itself in a defective womb, because the chemists of this world have women putting into themselves chemicals the nature of which they do not know or understand, weakening the walls of the uterus so that the baby, the new fertilized egg, cannot even get a firm grip in the womb. And so you have all of these miscarriages one after another. Not that you are unhappy about that. Oh, Allah, help me to deliver this message this day. You that are out there in the radio land, get this tape, study it, think over it, question it, and then follow the truth of it. Look, beloved sisters, you are now poisoned and feeding poison to your children. What is the effect? The debilitation or weakening of the mental power, the brain power of your children. You weaken their physical structure, the structural base of your children by what you're putting in your mouth and in your system right now. You as a young girl should be tending to yourself, being ready to do the most sacred thing that a woman can do. You say, what is that sacred thing? I'm a feminist. What do you mean, sacred thing? I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a chemist, I'm a typist, and you are also a fool. Wait a minute. I am not knocking you, chemist, doctor, lawyer, teacher. Who are you chemically working for? Who are you typing for? What kind of business are you running? And what business is more important than the business of human life and a better humanity coming on this planet? This is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad set up an MGT and GCC class teaching the woman how to rear her children, because you know how to do everything else except how to bring a decent child on the planet that have the mental strength of a giant, a prophet, and a seer. The broadcast is over, but I'm not finished. You have the capacity to bring giants on this earth. Bringing a giant on the earth is not an accident. You have the capacity, woman, to birth a God on the scene. What did you say, Farrakhan? I'm going to talk about this now for the next half hour. If you get tired, get sleepy, I can't help that. I could say, come back Wednesday and I'll finish it, but I wouldn't finish it on Wednesday. I wouldn't finish it on Friday. This subject, all I'm going to do today is give you the rudiments of it, just to show you, by the grace of God, what Allah is putting in your brother's head from the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And you can take it or let it alone. You may say he's with God and God is with him, or you may say he's a phony. I don't care what you say, but listen to what I'm saying and you weigh it for yourself. I'm not making up no teaching. I'm just delving into what has been given to me and you from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now look, you've heard the old maxim that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. How many of you have heard that saying? Have you heard it? The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. What's wrong with the world today? The thing that's wrong with the world, no strong men in it. Yeah. Yes, sister, I want you to listen. Because if there are no strong men in the world, that says something about the condition of the woman. Yes, sir. It's all tied together here. Yes, right. Yes, sir, brother. Yes, right. There's no giant thinkers among us. Yes, there's no hardly any courageous men who are willing to stand up against the odds and deliver the people from the oppressor. Cowardly, faggot-type men. Listen good now. Listen good. I meet them every day. Faggot-type men. Which is a disservice to a woman. To say that a man acts like a woman is a disservice to a woman. You ain't never seen a real woman. I'm going to acquaint you with some today. even if they're imaginary. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
I want you to bear with me.
Yes, sir. Take your time, Brother Mr. T.
Men that have no courage won't stand up when the going gets tough.
All right.
They back down, weaken. That's all right, sister, then you listen to it. Don't talk to nobody else in here but to me. That's all right. I say you listen to me. Thank you. I ain't gonna have no disruption in here. And you'll see another side of me that you won't like. And you leave anybody alone in here that's bearing me witness. You want to be quiet, then you shut up. But if somebody else want to bear witness, don't you tell them to be quiet. You say, well, I'm trying to hear, then if you can't hear, move. Everybody don't express themselves the way you would like. There are some people that want to say amen. What the hell right is it of you to tell them to be quiet?
Good teaching.
Hell yeah, it's a good teaching. But I advise you don't upset me today. Just don't upset me today. You'll be in serious trouble with more than me. So am I. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. The reason that there are not strong men in the world to take charge of the destiny, she does not know how to produce a strong man. It is not that you don't have the potential, the capacity, but you don't have the knowledge. And because you don't know how to do what you're born into the world to do, you miss your task. And the children are born into the world out of lust and passion with no thought and planning.
Come on.
The force of the way we live is correct knowledge deposited in the right place. Carefully planning, rightly choosing, plus the continued application of desire and effort and will, a woman can produce mental giants. You can produce gods. The woman may not do it herself in terms of the manifestation of such power, but the woman is the womb through which that power comes. And that is why to abuse a woman is to abuse the womb of God. You, brother, don't have her function. If the world is in need of great men, honorable men, men of vision and right action, then it is women that are going to have to produce that kind of man. So women today whom God is going to bless, these women lay down and they dream of becoming the mothers of great men like that. How many of you sisters have ever dreamed, listen now, of producing someone into the world that would make a difference? How many of you have ever dreamed of that? Raise your hand high. Don't hold it down. Raise them up high. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Now those who never had that dream, think about that. Think about that now. Here you are producing age with an egg that can be fertilized, but your mind has never even conceived the thought of producing a child that will change the direction of your own people. Then what baby will you produce? It's an accident going someplace to happen. Why don't you think like that? Precisely because you've never been taught or trained as to the magnificence of who you are. Farrakhan, I notice when you teach, you seem to favor women. It's because I was made wise from the cradle by my mother. Somebody was going to have to come along to free the woman. Somebody was going to have to come along to put the woman in the right state and frame of mind, give her the right frame of reference from which she could draw power to make a change. That person was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but I was so in tune with my father that if 75% of his work is with the woman, why should I not lean in the direction which is the heaviest part of his work if I am his student and his helper? I want you to listen now. Jesus, are you all right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Jesus in the scriptures, not in the scriptures, but the scholars who write of Jesus, they call him the desire of women. That's one of Jesus' names. Now it has many meanings. But the scholars say Jesus being the desire of women means that women who were in the nation of oppressed Jews wanted to produce the deliverer. And each woman wanted or desired to be the womb that God would bless with the deliverer, the desire of women. Now look, you can't even begin to produce such person if the desire is absent. Listen. So, how to produce a God has to be thought of in preconception times. Right now, before you have a baby, you must begin to prepare your body and your mind for what will ultimately become a reality in your life. Listen now. As a young boy, you must begin to prepare yourself to father a powerful sperm. The sperm is not fathered by the act of sexual intercourse alone. The sperm is fathered by the thought that is present in the brain that empowers the sperm. Comes the force in the head of the sperm that will finally germinate and fertilize the egg. So you can't walk around mindless and produce mental giants, though it happens accidentally. But if you think about what you are and who you are, you can do it every time. There ain't no missing. And the condition that we're in, we don't want to hit and miss. We want to produce a giant every time the womb opens. Let a God come forth. This is why the white man is so, his birth rate is down, yours is up. That means that odds are, even though everything is biologically, yet you produce children that have something. Even though you give them nothing but negative circumstances to come to birth in, still the child develops a will to overcome the negative circumstance. Oh, bear with me just a few more minutes. Here are the things that you must consider. Living a natural, and normal life as preparation. Natural, meaning that you're in harmony with nature's laws. Not given to alcohol, not given to cigarettes, not given to drugs, because it is the synergism of alcohol and smoking that is devastating on your brain cell, on your bloodstream, on your sperm. Wait till this goes on. There's a few more minutes. It's going to be something. You have a saying, turn me on. Come on, baby, light my fire. Sister, you got a fire. Sister, turning you on is the most sacred function of a man. Turning her on properly. If the woman is turned on properly, there's a natural love that springs forth from her that is absolutely and vitally necessary to the proper preparation of a mental giant. The woman has the ability, an impressive ability. She has the ability to actually impress on the mind, like the mind is a blank piece of paper. She can write on the brain while the brain is forming. Brother, it's dangerous to play with a woman. It is dangerous to mess over a woman. It is dangerous, sister, to you yourself for you not to know how valuable you are. And you become an ignorant woman, a tool to be abused rather than to be properly used for the service of God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, where there are no decent women, there are no decent men, for the woman is the mother of civilization. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, no nation can rise any higher than its woman. You listen to me this afternoon by the help of Almighty God and watch what his words mean as they unfold. Look, a woman can impress her inner desires on the child that is to be. Just like you can kill them, sister, and make them of the smoke that you inhale, of the foods that you eat, you can also make them with the thoughts that you think. That's why a woman's mind has to be guarded by a man. And if there is no man, you got to perform the duty yourself.
Every Thursday night the vibe is set. Brother Leo and Sister Claudia, you won't forget. They're bringing truth, they're bringing light. Tune in, let them spark your mind tonight. The Imagination Show. Oh, every Thursday let it flow. Oh, Brother Leo, Sister Claudia, in the glow. It's the place to be, you already know. They talk that talk, they walk the walk, breaking it down, no need for small talk. Wisdom flying like the eagle's soar. You'll leave with more than you came here for. Open your heart, let your mind expand. Feel the rhythm, take a stand. The Imagination Show. Oh, every Thursday let it flow. Oh, Brother Leo, Sister Claudia, in the glow. It's the place to be, you already know. Open your heart, let your mind expand. Feel the rhythm, take a stand. The Imagination Show. Oh, every Thursday let it flow. Oh, Brother Leo, Sister Claudia, in the glow. It's the place to be, you already know. Soulful voices on the air, breaking barriers everywhere. Turn it up, don't let it fade. Thursday nights are tailor-made. Soulful voices on the air, breaking barriers everywhere. Turn it up, don't let it fade. Thursday nights are tailor-made.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. I want to greet you, my dear beloved brothers and sisters, in the greeting words of peace. We say it in Arabic. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Welcome, 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 dear beloved family, to another episode of the Imagination Show. My name is Brother Leo Muhammad, and sitting alongside me is my beloved, beautiful wife, Sister Claudia Muhammad.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you all in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, beloved.
Welcome to another edition of the Imagination Show, and we could never thank Almighty God Allah for blessing us to be here once again, as we cannot take it for granted. You've got to really start valuing and appreciating and showing gratitude for Allah blessing us each day, sparing our lives. And on that
Absolutely.
note, yes, thank you again for joining us and taking the time out of your busy schedules. Because time is going so
Fast.
I don't even think December, it's just we're nearly halfway through the month. Time is
Yes.
absolutely going quickly.
Yes, praise be to Allah. Dear family, thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
We have a show for you this evening, and we want to get right into it. I want to actually do a little bit of reading this evening before we get into the actual presentation, which is going to be a pretty short one this evening.
You always
I always say that.
don't take it on.
I always say that, but yeah, I wanted to read to you. I hope you've seen the title, which is Suffer the Little Children to Come Unto Me. Suffer the Little Children to Come Unto Me. I think I've written it a little bit different in different places, but that's the sentiment, that's the gist, that's the title that we wanted to talk about. And embedded in that title is a concept called humility. It's a trait of the human being that I wanted to explore a little bit this evening from the perspective of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught and exemplified by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In order to do that, family, I want to begin by taking a brief look at some of the study materials that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has produced for those of us in the Nation of Islam, and in truth, for any of us in the listening public who desires to be a part of and to take part in this program of activity called self-improvement, the basis for community development. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us a whole series of study guides, and I wanted to look this evening, starting with study guide 15, entitled The Characteristics of Humility. The Characteristics of Humility. And, I mean, honestly, the level and the beauty and the power of what we're given to study in the Nation of Islam, it's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And it really forces you to go deep into subject matters that when you can delve in and then relate it to yourself, to your own individual life, man, you can see how you can really begin to make some profound changes for the better. Now, in the reading assignment in study guide 15, The Characteristics of Humility, we're given reading material from the Holy Quran, Surah 16, entitled The Bee. We're asked to read from chapter 16, verses 77 to 83. We are given another surah, Surah 40, entitled The Believer, and we're asked to read from Surah 40, verses 61 to 68. Then we're given Surah 25, The Discrimination. That's the title of the surah. And then we're asked to read section 6. We're given Bible references. We're given Mark, the book of Mark, chapter 9, verses 33 to 37. And in those verses, the lesson is humility, the secret of greatness. Humility, the secret of greatness. We're given spiritual references. And let me read some of the spiritual references that we're given. And he it is who made the night and the day to follow each other. For him who desires to be mindful or desires to be thankful. And the servants of the beneficent are they who walk on the earth in humility. And when the ignorant address them, they say, peace. Ignorant people come to you with nonsense. You just say, look, peace. Assalamu alaikum, and go about your business. And that you can find that reference in chapter or Surah 25, verse 63. Another part that we're given. Successful indeed are the believers who are humble in their prayers and who shun what is vain. You can find that in Surah 23, chapter 23, verses 1 to 3. Another reference, O you who believe, should any one of you turn back from his religion, then Allah will bring a people whom he loves and who loves him, humble towards believers mighty against the disbelievers, striving hard in Allah's way, and not fearing the censor of any censorer. I mean, I love that reference because oftentimes you'll hear these ignorant people talking about, oh, if you turn away from Islam, how the Muslims come after you, they want to kill you. No, Allah says if you turn back, you just turn back. He will choose a people who love him, who he loves and who loves him. Simple. Believe me, family, there is no compulsion in religion. People can take it or leave it. Another reference says, this is Allah's grace. He gives it to whom he pleases. And Allah is ample giving, knowing. You can find that in chapter 5, verse 54 of the Holy Quran. Another reference says, say, who it is that delivers you from the calamities of the land and the sea. When you call upon him in humility and in secret, if he delivers us from this, we will certainly be of the grateful ones. Say, Allah delivers you from this and from every distress, yet you set up others with him. You can find that in chapter 6, verse 65. And then we have the introduction to study guide 15, the characteristics of humility. I just wanted to read to you what the introduction says. It says, humility is the quality or condition of being humble. One who is humble is modest, unpretentious, unassuming, and submissive. At the core of his thinking, the humble man does not think grand things of himself that exalt him above others. It is not a feeling that he is undeserving, but it is a quality that a leader must have to lift up the weight of the people. The power of strength is in placing it under the weight. Listen, family, this is where the real power of a good leader is. It's taking the weight of the people. The leader cannot pull the people from above. The leader must get under and lift them up. The idea of humility is that it is the opposite of pride. We must all, particularly those who are leaders, become more and more humble. Let nothing be done through strife, vainology, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant. Do you understand how so many of us today, we the idea of being a servant, my God, we run a mile in the opposite direction. Servant. We see this as being so. Jesus didn't mind being a servant. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan doesn't mind being a servant. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't mind being a servant. Even Master Farad Muhammad, when he came, all he did was serve us, man. Serve us. Humility is a key factor that we must appreciate, dear family. He made himself of no reputation and took upon himself the form of a servant and was made in the likeness of men, and being found in a fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross, wherefore God also has highly exalted him. You can find that quote from Philippians, the book of Philippians in the Bible, chapter 2, verses 3 to 9. And then another reference, put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved, tender mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. All of this I'm touching on because when we get to the little short presentation we have this evening, I want us to remember all of this. Meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. Remember, when Master Farad Muhammad was about to leave the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he gave him a very brief instruction. And part of that instruction said, take plenty. Take plenty. Take plenty from your people. Take plenty of humiliation. Take plenty of attacks. Take plenty of all of the stuff that's going to be thrown at you. Take plenty. Before the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, leaving the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he gave him the same instruction. Brother, take plenty. Dear family, it says, in the final part of this says, if any man has a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. And above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfectness. And that can be found in Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 to 14. There's some more reading that I'm going to do a little bit later on. But for now, we'll get into the actual presentation. I hope everybody is good. Are you all right, Sister?
Yes.
Why am I so hot?
If you could just leave that, because I can see.
Yes, it's a bit dangerous. It could fall off. It could fall off. Yeah. I do hope that everybody is good, this evening, because man, you just never know when some horrible thing is going to happen. There's so much pain going around at the moment. So many people suffering.
Yes.
I was at a funeral yesterday, burying the mother of a dear friend, a dear brother, and we pray that Allah, Almighty God, Allah, will be pleased with her. Very beautiful looking sister.
Yes, you keep saying you have
yeah. Yeah, I'm going to show you a picture. In fact, my friend sent me a picture of his mother when she was pregnant with him. I haven't looked at it yet. I've just haven't had the time preparing for the show today, but inshallah.
Yes, so our brother Johnny Mitchell said, in order to become a leader, you have to become a servant. Being a servant causes people to depend on you.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's right. Imagine the person who is serving you in a restaurant. As a patron in that restaurant, you're dependent on those who are serving you to make sure that you get your meal on time and all of the bits and pieces that we expect when we're expecting good service. Dear family, welcome to episode 212 of the Imagination Show. Today is Thursday, December the 11th, 2025. And as stated before, the title is Suffer Little Children, Forbid Them Not. Suffer the little children to come unto me. But this is just another way of abbreviating that and saying that for the purposes of this particular slide. Suffer little children, forbid them not. And right now we're going to get right into this, family. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Imagination Show. I can see the numbers that are on currently watching and those who have given a thumbs up. I mean, it's only about half of you so far that's given a thumbs up. And also, don't forget, dear family, to call a friend, a loved one, somebody that you care about. Let them know. And no sooner did I say that, I see the numbers went up. So wonderful. Thank you so much, dear family, for your response. Please call a friend, a relative, a loved one. Let them know that Imagination is live and direct right now on YouTube and also on Zoom. The particular scripture that we are looking at this evening comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 14, where it says, "But Jesus said, Suffer little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." Okay, that's you're looking at the kingdom of God when you understand that the children and those who are styled as children in the scripture, that's why the scripture says, ye are all God's children of the Most High God. So that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter whether you are a 10-year-old or you are like our brother who is currently with us, Brother Elder Charles. I'm not sure how old our brother is, but he refers to himself as Elder Charles, so we know that he is an elder brother. You are still styled as one of the children of the Most High God. Their family, to suffer, this is according to the dictionary, to suffer means to experience pain, distress, or loss. It can refer to undergoing physical or mental hardship, as in suffering from an illness or suffering from a broken heart. These are real things, that people go through, and this is what we mean when we talk about suffering. It can also mean to endure something negative, like an injury or a setback, as in the parent suffered emotional pain when the child became ill. We had an experience of that yesterday when a father, his son is taken ill, and emotionally he's all over the place because that's real, man. That's real. And it kind of fits with what we're trying to get at this evening as well, in that as parents, even not necessarily your child getting ill, but just your child going contrary to how you would like them to go, that in and of itself can be a real burden and a real pain and a real source of suffering to a parent. Now, in the context of this scripture that Matthew chapter 19, verse 14, the word suffer in early modern English means to allow something or to tolerate an action or process. So when you say suffer the little children to come unto me, in other words, we have to learn how to tolerate our children, how to allow something, even though it may cause us some distress or some pain or some suffering. We have to see a process through, especially when it comes to, the children and what we desire for the children ultimately to do. Dear family, I hope you are following our program this evening. Now, in the book of Matthew, going back to Matthew chapter 18, verses 2 to 4, it says, in verse 2, Jesus invited a little child to stand among them. Jesus invited a little child to stand among the people, among the adults. In verse 3, he says, Jesus said, "Truly, I tell you, unless you change," that word is so key, change. So that word is so key, change. Because believe it or not, we're taught in a mathematical way that change is constant. That change is the only constant. Everything is continuously changing. Okay? But then at the same time, we're taught that the one thing that the human being doesn't like is change. Think about that. So we're actually contradicting the nature of the universal order. Change is constant, but we don't like change. Right. Jesus says, "Truly I tell you, unless you change," see, because God never changes the condition of a people until they first change themselves. Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. What do you mean become like a little child? See, children, dear family, they're so pliable. They're so innocent. They're so willing to learn. They're so able to ask questions and not be ego driven, whereby they think if I ask a question, the person is going to think I'm stupid. Because this is what we do when we become so-called adults. We think that we're too mature now. I'm too long in the tooth. Yeah, to ask a question. I mean, and the whole thing can get really ridiculous. Even sometimes we might be, somewhere where we're lost. We're not sure about something, but we're not going to ask anybody. We're going to guess. We're going to stop it.
But
Go
when
ahead.
you do ask, you don't even listen to
Not
it.
even. You ask directions, the person is giving you the
And you'll say,
directions, and your
yeah.
eyes start to glaze over because you're not really listening. You see, but this is so key, dear family. We've really got to change, and we've got to become more like a child
Mm-hmm.
and less like an adulterous person, a so-called adult, you see, who start thinks that it's all right to go and sleep with many partners. It's all right to be adulterous because I'm big, I'm grown, I'm a man, I'm a woman. Yeah, I can do whatever I want. Nobody can tell me nothing. Stop it. Stop it. We've got to become like a child again, especially when it comes to the instructions from Almighty God Allah. See, because remember, he's given us very clear parameters and very clear instructions about how we should be conducting this life. One of those instructions being humility. However, whatever God says, do, Satan says, don't do. Whatever God says, don't do, Satan says, go ahead. You can do it. And so you got to understand that, we're up against some forces here.
That's right.
So don't think that you can say, well, I'm just going to stay in a vacuum. I'm just going to stay in the middle. I'm not going to make a decision. No, 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 no. This is the day of decision. Go ahead, sister.
And where God tests and gives you trials, Satan tempts you.
Yeah, he's a
Temptress.
he's a seductor.
Yes, yes, yeah. He will tempt
Satan
you.
seduces. You see, he beguiles, he invites. And then finally in verse 4, it says, therefore, whoever humbles himself like this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Understand what we're saying here, family. Humility is phenomenal. And now I want to move into another area. I just want you to have a look at these little children. And let me just check the sound because I don't really want there to be any sound on this because we keep getting strikes on YouTube. You don't really need the sound, because of copyright and whatever. Some of these images of these Chinese children in a kindergarten and what it is that Chinese people are teaching their children. See, because if we're not about the children today, then we are in deep, deep, deep trouble. Okay? Have a look at this, dear family. You got these children, they're cooking. By the way, they cook their own dinners, they cook their own lunch, and then they eat it. Look at the manual dexterity that these little kindergarten children are learning. Think about this. See, because when you think about the kindergartens in the West and the type of things that, I mean, the children they're light years behind. You see, when you see China and its level of growth and development, when you see the technology that is coming out of that nation, you see, then you understand that this is how they produce that by focusing on the children at very early stages of their life, of their growth and development, and cultivating, look at this, practicing to be doctors and, it's beautiful, brothers and sisters. And if we're not exposing our children to this type of thing, and remember, because again, we've been raised in the West, and so much of what we take for education today, it's so backward because it's a Eurocentric curricula. Even now, you can't even, look at the children on the back. You wouldn't be allowed now in the West to have the children doing stuff like walking on those barrels. Why? Because of health and safety concerns. But when we were children, we would go out into the wild. We could go run. In fact, in Jamaica, when I was growing up as a little child, we made our own toys. We were able to make things as little children. But in a society like this, that you got to go to the shop to buy a toy. And people might look at you sideways and start frowning on you if you were to determine that you were going to make the toy for the child, or even encourage the child to make their own toy. See what I mean? Look at what these children are making for themselves. Look at the manual dexterity. Look, this is how they come when they grow up to be able to build bridges, build these. They've got tunnels that go underneath the oceans, joining one island to another, that make the Channel Tunnel look like a toy thing when it comes to what the Chinese are able to do. You understand, family? What they're learning here is high mathematics. They're learning how to cook as children. These are skills that many of us today have completely lost. And I'm speaking now specifically to the Black community as well, because we have to be very careful, you see, with this takeaway culture where fast food now dominates our lives. And, what do you mean fast food? Yeah, fast, kill your fast. Because that's all we're putting into our systems, into our bodies. We don't know nothing about those kitchens. But look at these tiny children. See? They're even dealing with open flames here, fire and all the rest of it. You think in the West now you can expose children to flames and fire and making, food of this nature? No. All of this is frowned upon now. Oh, no, no, no. Health and safety is too dangerous. Oh, my God. Keep the children in some little cotton wool bubble of no learning. So that now, and all the children know to do now in the West is use their thumbs on a phone console or Xbox or some other crazy game that they've been exposed to. Look at this.
Yeah, these are real life skills.
Absolutely. And all the adults are there to do is supervise. All of this food the children have cooked themselves. See what they're learning? How to sew.
Sewing machines.
What is it that the MGT learned to do? How to cook, how to sew, how to keep house. But again, if you're not careful, these are things today that are frowned upon.
Yeah, by Satan, isn't it?
In the Black community. No, yes, it's seen as, this is seen as lowly.
Yes.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
And so we live in dirty houses because we don't know how to clean them ourselves. We don't know how to take care of business. Look at this. Farming. This is, again, you look in your average Black community, do you think our children are being taught about farming? They're not, family. They are not.
Look at them in the cutting
each other's hair.
Brilliant.
It's beautiful, man. And what you get in from this is you get in productive, robust,
Right.
strong-minded, capable individuals that are going to grow up to be able to be captains of industry and run things, man, and run business and take care of business, family.
And this is what Satan does. He'll say, oh, let them be children, let them play. See, just enforcing that mind where you want to play.
Play.
Whereas they're very constructive what they're doing.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. See? And learning teamwork, learning how to work together, how to build together. You see? And
that's why when the children are young, they don't actually want the toys. They want the real mobile phone. They want to explore real things.
Absolutely.
Everyday things, instead of they won't even touch their toys.
Absolutely.
Because they know in their nature, that's not real for them.
In the nature of a child is creativity.
That's right.
If you put the child in the right environment, man, you be surprised what that child is capable of doing. But the children now are so mollycoddled in the West that they can't do anything. You see? And then the next thing you know, your child's going to be telling you, oh, I'm scared. Or, I can't go out, or this or that, because this is the type of environment that they've been bred into. Dear family, a key and pivotal component of the Nation of Islam has been the establishment of the Muhammad University of Islam. This is done, this establishment of this university is done because teaching this generation, the next generation and the unborn generations yet to come, teaching them a God-centered curriculum of educational excellence is the only way, listen to what I'm saying, it is the only way to guarantee the successful growth and development for the future of our nation. Anything else is a pipe dream and a dereliction of duty. Understand what I'm saying? The word dereliction means that when something is broken down, when something has been, when an obligation has not been fulfilled, when we're not taking charge of our children's education today, we are derelict. We are decrepit. We're broken down. We're finished. And, you know, just because the Nation of Islam established the Muhammad University of Islam, it doesn't mean that, oh, it's just for the small group of Muslims. No, it's for the totality of the black community. The Nation of Islam means the nation of peace. That's what Islam means, peace. That's the world that we as black people want to establish. That's the world that we want to bring in. That's what we pray for as Christians. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. God's will be done. Where? On earth. We want to establish God's kingdom here, a kingdom of peace, a kingdom of freedom, justice, equality, regardless to creed or class or color. Come on, man. This is what it's all about. So don't think, you know, when you hear Islam, the University of Islam, the Nation of Islam, that this is some little thing off in a corner just for registered members of the Nation of Islam, the quote unquote Muslims. Is for every one of us. All of us should be about the business today of establishing schools and universities for our children. So I'm going to pause that again. I'm going to take away the sound because I just don't trust these people. We don't need the sound. I just want you to, these are just some images of the Muhammad University of Islam. I think this is from around 2016. But, you know, the Muhammad University of Islam has been established all over North America. We had our own school here. And the enemy worked night and day to destroy our school. The enemy without and even enemies within. I want you to understand, family. You know, the enemy is not going to work to destroy our educational facilities for our children if those educational facilities are not paramount and important to the growth and development of black people. There's a reason why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when beginning to establish the Muhammad University, was arrested and falsely charged with, what was it? Contributing to the delinquency of minors. I mean, listen to that. This is the black man trying to take charge of the education of his own children, and the concocted false charge is contributing to the delinquency of minors because you no longer want your children to go into the schools of Satan, where the curriculum is Eurocentric and not geared to the growth and development of black people. Come on, man.
Well, once you take out God,
exactly,
whose education, what are they teaching?
Exactly.
When the author of creation, you've taken
the author of creation out of the educational process. That's why, again, it says here, a God-centered curriculum. Right. If God is not at the center of what we're learning, oh man, then we're in deep trouble, family.
And that's why the children are the way they are today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at these beautiful black children, man. Look at their beautiful faces, family.
Hmm.
See? Like lined up like soldiers,
So
drilling, you know, learning discipline, man. Highly cultured
that's right.
and disciplined people. That's the kind of nation that we got to build. They have Islamic studies.
That's right.
They're learning about Islam. They're
And
learning
the
about
Holy
God,
Quran.
learning the Holy Quran, learning the Bible,
Mhm.
learning about the things that matter in terms of navigating a world like this, which has made religion and these other elements obscure and complex. You see, not by accident, but by design.
That's right.
You see the books they're reading, Our Savior has arrived, Message to the Black Man. Go ahead, sister.
And even the children in Muhammad University are writing, but more and more in schools, they're doing things online.
They're not
So
writing
they're not
anymore.
even, they don't even know how to write.
They're not writing
No.
anymore. See, the children are learning how to engage, how to converse, how to, you know, participate
Yes.
in group
right.
activity. You see what I
That's
mean? It's beautiful, man. Look at this little scholar.
Hmm.
We must learn the science of everything.
Everything.
That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The science of everything, because there's science in everything. So in the Muhammad University of Islam, they're doing science courses, man. In other words, conducting experiments.
That's right.
Hey, look, they've built in something where, you know, it's been pushed along by wind, by air. It's beautiful. Look, science. I used to love. I went into a science lab a couple of occasions when I was growing up in this country. When I managed to get into a classroom, and I loved that. I loved the test tubes and the, you know what I mean, experimenting with things of that. But I just didn't have enough of exactly Bunsen burners. You know, they're doing mathematics, high mathematics.
That's right.
See, because you can't have a civilization that doesn't know mathematics. You can't build anything without mathematics. Look, geometry is what our young brothers and sisters are studying. And then, you know, I love that image where that sister was taking care of the little sister,
There's love
fixing her.
there.
Right, because family, you can't have a school, you can't have a university if the teachers don't love the students. Learning physical training, martial arts, learning how to defend themselves, so that you're not breeding children who are going to come into the world terrified and scared of their own shadows. You see, the children have got to have that self-confidence as they go about their lives, knowing how to fight, knowing that there's an enemy to fight as well, not bringing them up in some vacuum where they don't know reality of the type of world that they've been born into. When I was growing up, my parents never told me nothing about all the hardships and the pains that they went through in the society in which I was now coming up. I had to find these things out for myself. It's not good, family.
It's not good.
We do a horrible disservice to our children. Look at this. Farming, learning about animal husbandry, learning about the creatures on the farm, learning how to grow and plant food. These are the things, man. This is what goes on in the Muhammad University of Islam. And make no mistake about it, here you got some of the students at the United Nations learning about international politics, learning about what's going on in the world, you see, so that they're not naive and foolish. This is not some little, like I always use this terminology, some little group stuck off in a corner somewhere. No, we are international. We are universal family. That's how you got to teach the children today. What does that say, sister?
We are here to build a nation.
We are here to build a nation.
So sweet.
You see how beautiful these children are? And then there's the address, www.mui.chicago.org. If you have children, dear family, that you would like to really be a part of something truly great, get in touch with the Muhammad University of Islam.
Or if you don't have children and you'd like to support, you can donate to
You
the
can
Muhammad
donate to the Muhammad University of Islam. www.muichicago.org. Dear family, we're talking about suffer the little children to come unto me. That's what we're dealing with tonight. As I said, we're not going to go long, but we do intend to be strong by the grace and mercy of Allah. Dear family, now, this next bit, I must admit that the first time I saw this, I became emotional to the point of tears. I literally sat and cried when I watched this the first time. And every time I watch it, every other time I still feel. Because if only we understood the invaluable importance of good and compassionate leadership. That's what we have in the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We got good and compassionate leadership, man. We've got leadership in that man that when it comes to the pastoral care of the believers, it's second to none. See, because his entire thrust is love of the believers, love of the members of the human family. That's the motivational factor behind what the man does. Look, beloved, invaluable importance of good and compassionate leadership, especially when such leadership will fight. I emphasize fight to put in place the foundational stones of a nation. This is why the man is wearing a military uniform, beloved. Because first and foremost, you've got to be a soldier. And I'm saying whether you're male or female, soldier, you got to have the mentality, the military bearing of a soldier. See, it's not an accident that the most progressive revolutionary movements taking place on the African continent today is led by soldiers. See, because this civilian mentality where we are bowing down to the so-called powers that be, and we refuse, if you listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at the start of today's Image and Nation show, talking about leadership, faggot leadership. I've got to repeat what he said, man. This effeminate leadership of black men that are cowardly and bowing down to an enemy, man, capitulating and going along to get along. No, that's got to end. It's got to end. See, we need strong military bearing today, especially when such leadership will fight to put in place the foundational stones of a nation, which is the uncompromised. What does Sister Claudia say every week about the final call? It's uncompromised. This is a newspaper that is uncompromised, unadulterated, unhindered, and unmitigated. In other words, we're not making no excuses for being who we are, for doing what we're doing. We're not trying to mitigate what we're doing. What we're doing is righteous. What we're doing is ordained by God. What we're doing is the right thing on behalf of our people. Uncompromised, unadulterated, unhindered, and unmitigated education of its children, family. Man, I want you to just listen to our beloved brother. Go ahead, Sister Claudia.
Before anyone in the comments, if you're going to be disrespectful, especially to Minister Farrakhan, that's a very dangerous position to put yourself in.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. So you carry on with your filth, but watch.
And I'll also let you know that, I know somebody was removed from the platform last week.
Yes, yes.
And myself and Sister Claudia, we just ignore all your nonsense.
Yeah,
But we
but
got
that-
we got workers
Yes.
we got workers
Yeah.
behind the scene who will not tolerate your nonsense.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if you get dashware,
Yes.
chuck out.
Yes.
Okay. So remember, on this platform, be very careful.
You're very careful.
That you don't come. You heard the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan earlier on
Don't
in that
go
brief
there.
excerpt of a lecture when somebody was trying to be disruptive in the meeting. We don't play that. We're talking today about humility, but don't mistake our humility.
That's right. Don't go there.
For being some faggots.
Yes,
We're not that kind of people.
Yeah, don't even go there.
Okay, so don't come with any nonsense. Okay, and don't bring filth onto this.
Keep it to yourself.
Okay, go and pollute your own environment with that. But on the Image and Nation show, it's all love.
That's right.
It's all love. So family, let's get into what our beautiful brother Ibrahim had to say in this talk. And he's talking to the children of Burkina Faso.
But remember one thing. You are the pillar of this nation, you children. And you must understand that the situation we are experiencing is not a normal one, if I may say so. But you, the wards, must understand even better than the other children why Burkina Faso is in this situation. What are we doing to get ourselves out of it, and what must we do to ensure that this situation never happens again in the future?
I mean, just the uniformity of the children, just the fact that they've had the sense of purpose and mind to put the children in outfits that mirror to some extent the uniformity and the uniform of the leader of the country is absolutely beautiful. You see, family, we got to understand the science of such a move, the science of a leader of a country bringing the children into the state house, bringing the children into the heart of government to speak to them like a brother or a father, a mentor, a friend, a teacher. See, this is what's missing from a lot of the African countries, in the diaspora, in the Caribbean. Our leadership is elitist. They mirror their European counterparts or their American counterparts, and the people can hardly see them. But this brother is setting a real example of how a leader should be and what a leader should do. Listen to the beautiful expression of our brother to these young children. And by the way, these children, family, children that he's speaking to, these are children mostly who are orphans, children who have lost their parents in the terrorism that has been plaguing this part of West Africa for years, terrorism that has been sponsored from the West, sponsored by France, sponsored from the West in order to keep the African continent destabilized, in order that the rape of its resources, the rape of its minerals can continuously be siphoned out of the country and the country remains in turmoil. These are the children who have been victimized by losing their parents. And now they are wards of the state. And here is a head of state who recognizes that such children have to be treated in a way that is so beautiful, man, where they become prioritized in the building of the nation. See, they're not a second thought. These children are the foundational stones of the brand new world that needs to be brought in. It's absolutely beautiful. It makes me not emotional in the sense of being out of control, but emotional in the sense of appreciating just how wonderful it is to witness, to live in a time where I'm able to witness this type of program, this type of transformation, this change, because that's the word, Sister Claudia, the change that is now taking place with this type of leadership.
That is why, in addition to school, you will need to receive special training, because you are the witnesses of this situation, the witnesses today, and you will be the witnesses of tomorrow. You are in the best position to tell other children what you are experiencing, because this situation has happened in Burkina Faso. I have to admit that you should feel at home here, just as I feel at home with you. In our army, we say that we are one big family. So wherever you are with soldiers, you are at home.
Go ahead, brother.
So we don't see you as outsiders, but as our brothers, our children, our sisters. There is already the beginning of a solution to the problem you experienced in the past. It's been 10 years now, a decade, that Burkina Faso has been fighting against terrorism. And the country has gone through a lot during that time. But unfortunately, the issue of the P.P.s and also widows was not given much consideration. And I think that since last year, we decided...
I'm not sure what the term P.P. means, but it is referring to the children. I think they're orphans, but he uses that term. I'm not sure what it means. I was supposed to look it up, but I couldn't. P.P.s in Africa, in Burkina Faso. But I think they're given a particular designation. And if you listen to what Brother Ibrahim Traore is saying, they're given specific cards and dispensation within the society whereby they're really, really to be taken care of. It's absolutely beautiful, man.
Through Slovenia to create a structure that... And the goal is to gradually register, through platforms, all the P.P.s of the nation, as well as the widows of this war. And I hope that by then, we will be able to have an exact assessment of the situation. This is the 5th decree that has come into effect not long ago. That means there are documents that we take to the Council of Ministers to grant you the titles of P.P. of the nation. And that's what entitles you to the card you have there. So we are cataloging them as we go along. And I think that all the children who are currently in difficulty, who have not yet been registered, will be registered and will receive their card and have access to all the services you mentioned earlier. But remember one thing. You are the pillar of this nation, you children. And you must understand that the situation we are experiencing is not a normal one, if I may say so. But you, the wards, must understand even better than the other children why Burkina Faso is in this situation.
Wow.
What are we doing to get ourselves out of it, and what must we do to ensure that this situation never happens again in the future? That is why, in addition to school, you will need to receive special training, because you are the witnesses of this situation, the witnesses today, and you will be the witnesses of tomorrow. You are in the best position to tell other children what you are experiencing, because this situation has happened in Burkina Faso. That is why I said, starting in 2026, God willing, we will begin building a number of schools that we will call the schools for the wards of the nation, in order to better support you. And you will join these schools. And for those who would like to be boarders and all, we want to provide all the necessary conditions. So construction will begin in 2026. We do not know if the first buildings will be finished in 2026, but the goal is to bring you together, along with other children, of course, and to better explain the situation to you and how you should handle things so that this situation does not happen again in Burkina.
Well, you know, where's the leader? Where's the leaders who talk to their children like this? Young children, man, being given a foundation and a platform whereby they can actually understand what's happening in their nation at the highest level, and being included within the plans that are afoot in order to bring about a change in their condition, that they can play a role in the growth and development of their own nation. And they're being made to, they're in the presidential palace, be made to appreciate that they are pillars of the foundation of the nation. You know, not some afterthought left out on the side of the road. I hate when I've been in some of these African countries and I see the children dirty on the side of the road, haven't washed from when they got up in the morning with some cola nuts or whatever else, some fruits on their heads trying to sell to make ends meet, to take a little bit of money back home to take care of their families, small children. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, you see? And what our brother in Burkina Faso is trying to do, he's trying to change that whole dynamic whereby the children are put into a situation and a condition where they can actually grow and become highly efficient and educated and wise, so that now they can be real contributors to the future growth and development of the nation. Wow. I really love this brother, man. I love this brother.
Burkina. Many have suffered when they lost their parents. Many continue to suffer. A related issue is that people are not well received in foster families. Others are mistreated. That is why we are taking all necessary measures so that you are comfortable, that you have free schooling, free healthcare, and that you can travel for free. So the first steps have already been taken.
Free schooling, free healthcare, free travel. See, can you imagine what that does to the life of a child? Where they've not got to be worrying about such things now, where the school fees are coming from, if they get sick, health care, and then just to be able to move from one place to another within the country. Free, man, is provided for the children because the children are the future. Wow. According to somebody in the chat, they say that PP potentially could be programmatic partnership. It's an acronym relating to child welfare and social protection, according to Google. Somebody else says, Johnny Mitchell says PP might mean personal protection. Stephen Brown says PP might mean progressive and popular. Positive leadership. Yeah, all good meanings, by the way. But yeah, praise be to Allah. Let's continue. Let's listen to our brother Ibrahim, talking to these beautiful children.
And I think that as we go along, we will spare no effort to ensure that you are in the ideal conditions to be able to work and also to continue. Until you find a job and the state can support you in that regard. You should be the privileged witnesses of this situation. And this training can only be done once you have been gathered together in a specific area, which will be the schools for the nation's future. So prepare yourselves for this. You will be in good conditions in these schools to better learn about what Burkina Faso is experiencing and why Burkina Faso is being attacked. Who are those who have come to attack us to the point that we have lost our brothers? Who are your relatives and everyone else? And why did this situation happen? And what must we do so that tomorrow this situation never happens again? Now,
you know, this is the thing that always gets me, man. See, this is the wisdom of good leadership. You're going to teach the children the history. You're going to teach them who their friends are. You're going to teach them who their enemies are. You're going to teach them the correlation between things so that the children understand. You know, you'd be surprised how many of our nations and how many of our communities, the children haven't got a clue about what's happened historically, how they come to be in the particular condition that they're in at any given moment in time. But what our brother is trying to do is trying to undo all of that loose nonsense and now replace it with systematic information so that the children are informed. The children, you know, a lot of our children are making really bad choices. Why? Because they've not been given any kind of foundation on which they can build a future. And so the children literally are trying to make up life as they go along. They have to make it up for themselves because nobody has bothered to say, you know, this is where you are because this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. And ultimately, this is where you should want to be. And these are the steps potentially to get you there. There's no programmatic process in place for our people like that, man. And that's why what this brother and his government is attempting to do is so awesome. It's so awesome. It's just so beautiful.
To your classmates nor to your children, because you are going to grow up. You too will have children one day, but your children must grow up in very good conditions. They must not suffer, they must not experience the situation you are living through. And that is the fight. So each and every one of us, no matter how young we are, must imagine that tomorrow, when I am grown up, when I have children, I will do everything so that children are not in the conditions that I experienced.
Change.
So for that, you will have to fight and you will have to better understand the situation. And it is you who will have to teach your other classmates, who do not know the situation that you know. So that's
who today is telling the children that they have to fight? You know, who's giving them that type of strength of character, that kind of backbone, you see? And explaining to the children how they themselves must become teachers. But you can't teach, you can't lead unless you're first willing to submit yourself to learning and being led. It's a wonderful thing, family. You know, in the ancient African tradition, again, it says, old men for counsel, young men for war. And Ibrahim is not by any stretch of the imagination an old man, but there he is already as a young leader, man, imparting to those younger than him, preparing them to take the baton from him. I can't remember exactly what the language was that was used for the title of this when I found the video. But it said something like, the title of the video that I found said something along the lines, if I fall, you must rise or you must move. Think about that. You know, this is a brother who's thinking about the possibility that the enemy could harm him or attempt to stop the revolutionary process that's in play. But he's letting the youth and his people know that if anything happens to me, you must continue. The movement must continue. You must pick up the baton and keep moving the way you see me moving. That's what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has done with the Nation of Islam. This is the message that he has repeated over and over and over again, teaching us the fabric of faith and how we must be found as a people today, full of faith and full of self-determination to do for self or suffer the consequences, and not to allow any wicked, crooked deceiver to take us off course and to move us away from that process that Almighty God Allah has authored for us today. Oh man, this is so beautiful. I hope you are getting as much from it as I got and still get whenever I see this brother addressing our young people.
First measure that is planned to build several schools across the country where you will be very well supported. So let's get back to access to healthcare, education, and other services. I think, as I said, this is just the beginning. We are already trying, through the P.O.W.E card, to give you access to healthcare, education, and many services. But it's not perfect, it's ongoing. Every time we have a list ready, we will continue to enroll people and also the different services. We will try to activate them so that you have access to all services for free. That's our goal. For example, someone mentioned private schools, so I invite the minister to quickly look into what kind of agreement we can have with these private schools, so that when there are wards of the nation in a given area who do not have access to public schools, or if there is a specialty in a private school that they want to access, we can address that. What kinds of agreements can we have with the school to pay these tuition fees so that you can very easily access the various services you need right near your home?
Here's a government pledging that even if the child needs to go into a private school that has a speciality and some type of training or whatever, the government will be prepared to foot the bill for that child to be able to achieve that education. It's beautiful,
You
man.
never get that.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. And remember, you know, America, Britain, you ain't talking about no free education.
No,
Okay?
no.
And this is what Muammar Gaddafi had in Libya. Free education, free healthcare. So much of the society was geared towards benefiting the population. And you saw what Satan did to Libya and what he's reduced that country to now. See, this is why we can never be complacent. This is why we can never rest on our laurels. This is why, you know, our brother has this military bearing, this military posture, this military attitude, ready, willing, and able to fight the enemy, because you can't relax and think that, oh, because you've now taken charge of your country, that the enemy is not going to keep coming and trying to destabilize and undermine and, you know, overturn the revolution. The enemy is all about counter-revolution. And he is, in all of these countries that are trying to liberate themselves, he has got his NGOs, these so-called non-governmental organizations spying, recruiting, and formulating cells of dissension and insurgency and all kinds of evil going on within the countries, fostering corruption and all kinds of stuff, man, feeding poison to the populations under the guise of humanitarianism. This is real. And so brother is a realist. He knows what's going on. He knows how they operate. And so he understands that the fight has to be explained even to the very young in the country, so that everybody is on the same page. Everybody is a soldier in Burkina Faso. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
We are also expanding many social services, especially in terms of healthcare. If you notice, we are currently building a lot of health centers. This is to bring health centers closer to the general population. But in any case, before all of this happens, the minister will also look into all possible agreements we can have with private social services that may be in your areas where you could have access. So I am waiting for a concrete proposal on what can be done when a ward of the nation shows up somewhere and it is not a state-run service. Presenting their card, how they can access services, and what the state can do with that particular structure. As for the possibility of meeting again, to answer the first question, I would say it's always a pleasure, okay? You will always be welcome here, and we will see each other again. This won't be the first or the last time, okay? So you are welcome here, and don't hesitate. If you have any concerns, pass them on through your parents. It will reach the ministry, and we will see what we can do. And whenever there is an opportunity for us to meet like this to discuss, you will be welcome. We will always make time to receive.
Accessible leadership, man.
But I like the way he said, pass it through your parents.
Parents.
But in this society, bypass the parents.
Bypass the parents.
Here's a number for the teacher if you want to speak.
Social services, Call social services if your parents try to impose some discipline on you in the home.
You because you are heroes. You are the children of our heroes, and you are heroes of this nation. You are the true heroes because you carry deep within you, in silence, the pain of a present that we are living through. And you must be the ones who guarantee, with God's help, the future of our homeland by explaining to others how it happened and what must be done to never fall into it again.
I hope you're listening when this brother speaks, how God is always at the center. Military man, but make no mistake about it, God is at the center, okay? He ain't leaving God out of the equation because he's a believer and he understands that without God, man, we're going nowhere, dear family.
So you will always be welcome and we will see each other again. So I assure you, it's true. For other means of transportation, it's the same thing as with the various social services. Transportation is part of it. That's a very good question. It's true that Sotraco is currently free, but when people want to travel, maybe from one city to another, private transportation. So, Madam Minister will look into what kind of agreement can be made with the different transport companies so that you can also take the bus for free.
Wow.
For the various social cases that may arise, that's true. We have seen cases where, after the death of the combatant, there are issues of inheritance, there are issues of compensation that divide many families. There are people who are cast out by their families and so on. You are absolutely right. But we are starting a program through certain state structures. And also, we have invited private partners to join us in urban development. So there will be a lot of social housing. In particular, as you may have seen on TV, social housing that will be built a bit higher up, in the form of apartment systems. The state will get involved so that you can also be taken into account in these apartments. So that when someone and their mother are not well received in a given family, the state can find an apartment and provide it so they can have a place to live. So, God willing, starting in 2026, construction will begin, little by little, so that we can also provide social housing for our PPs, like you.
See, our brother is even thinking about those little social, political kind of things that happen in certain communities where there is prejudice of one description or another, because even within our African families, sometimes there's tribal issues, differences, there's religious type of differences, sometimes there are social class differences, because the enemy is poisoned the bloodstream of humanity with so many types of division. So what our brother is saying is that regardless of what happens and whatever little obstacles you run into and problems you may encounter, the state will always be there to try to help you to rectify those situations when it comes to your housing and other needs that, you know, may be denied in certain localities, may be denied by the fact that this is a private entity, a profit-making business of some description. The state will interact on your behalf in order to try to help you if you have this PP card, which is specifically for these young people who have been made wards of the state because of their status as orphans. I mean, it's just phenomenal. See, it's not like a broad stroke. Brother's even going into the intricacies and the details, and because he understands that there are nuances. He understands that there are people who could fall through the cracks, who don't fit into that broad area of governmental responsibility. So he wants them to know that, make no mistake about it, we genuinely care about you, and we will, to the best of our ability, God willing, facilitate you. I just love the expression of this beautiful brother. And he's not one of these talkers. When he talks, he walks the talk, man. The changes that this man has brought about already in the short space of time that he has been in power in Burkina Faso, it is phenomenal.
So all these issues can be resolved, and it's just a matter of time and legislation. This goes hand in hand with all the other issues like schools and health centers. We will do everything to have health centers and schools nearby so that you can receive a proper education within these facilities and also receive medical care. So I can assure you that many measures are being taken so that in the near future you will be as comfortable as possible. And I encourage you to keep working hard so you can set an example for other children, as I told you. So you at your level should also be instructors, right? You should be able to share your experiences and explain to other children why you need to work hard, stay disciplined, behave well, and listen to your teachers in order to become excellent instructors in the future. So I'm counting on you to be disciplined, and I can see that you're already very disciplined, as if you had a bit of military training before coming here. Is that what happened? Did you receive training? Oh, really? Do you want to be trained? So we're going to include military training in the future schools for the nation's little ones.
ahead.
You're going to like that, aren't you?
Go ahead.
A lot of people here want to be in the military. You're going to defend your homeland, and that's what matters. So it's a noble profession, and we'll do everything to make sure you have these values of integrity and patriotism wherever you go. So I can count on you, on your discipline, right? Work? Everyone is working well, I hope. All right, I'll check with your teachers. Next time you come, I'll ask for everyone's report card. I hope everyone has at least the average grade. All right, so congratulations to all of you. The holidays are coming soon, so keep working hard at school. Work hard, respect your elders, respect your parents, respect your teachers at school who are like your parents, who teach you, who educate you about everything you need to do, and respect everyone in your daily life. I can count on you because I say you will be role models and you must be role models. You must be exemplary Burkinabés. And when we say Burkinabe, we mean people of integrity.
Listen.
We do not lie, we do not steal, we do not cheat, we work, we are disciplined. In short, there are many qualities you must possess. I can count on you. Can I count on you? Yes, thank you very much. And I am very happy. So, God willing, we will meet again next time to discuss many other topics that you want. Good luck to everyone, and may God protect our beloved homeland. The homeland or death.
Listen.
The homeland or death?
Listen.
The homeland or death?
Listen.
There you have it, and we will always, always prevail. Have a great end.
Absolutely beautiful, man. Beautiful, dear family. Thank you so much for, being with Sister Claudia and Brother Leo for these Imagination shows. Today's musical interlude is all about humility and the righteous leader who can rise and lead his people without the need to show off or attempt to exalt him or herself into a position where all the focus is on them and not on those they claim to be leading into a better condition. I just love this image. I've used it so many times, and I will always use this image. This was the front page of the Final Call newspaper on this particular occasion, entitled Resurrection and Reformation. Reform, beloved. But what I love about this picture is how the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is behind the brother.
That's right.
He can't even see who is doing the work on his behalf. All he knows is that he's heard a word that's allowed him to get up from that decrepit state, from that condition on that park bench, and to slowly but surely reform himself to the point where he becomes a man of business, standing upright on a living perpendicular with a briefcase, doing for self. I just love it. I just love it. And so this particular song, dear family, is entitled Humility.
A definition of humble, loving condition. Listen to me. A definition of humble, loving condition. Listen to me. A definition of humble, loving condition. Listen to me. Definition of humble,
Beautiful, beautiful.
Praise be to
All
God.
praise is due to Allah. What a blessing, man.
Absolutely.
Wow. And the brothers and sisters in the UK were making some wonderful music
Absolutely.
back in the day, back in the early middle 90s. We were making some fantastic music, which has really never been heard by anybody. But we're playing some of them for you on the Image of Nation show in this 2025 era. Dear family, that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got something from today's brief presentation as it relates to humility, as it relates to, the children and how important it is that we focus on the children and give the children the opportunity to play their role going forward, because at some point you and I have to pass the baton on, but we can't pass the baton to an uninformed populace of children. We have to be able to pass the baton because we've taught them well, teach them well, and let them lead the way. So I really want to thank all of you for your participation this evening. And I want to greet you as I found you at the beginning in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Brother Leo Mohammed. Thank you very much for that.
Praise be to Allah.
And on that note, I would say thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not sure if anybody saw the lecture last week on NOI.org with student minister Jeffrey Mohammed did a fantastic job about talking about the children also. So if you can rewatch that on media.noi.org, and once is I'm sorry, sister, if I can't remember your name. She bought 600 guests.
Believers.
Yes, the children.
600 guests. Okay.
Yes, yeah, the children. A lot of children came to that lecture. It was absolutely serious. So don't forget, you can rewatch the Sunday lectures on media.noi.org or every Sunday on noi.org. And don't forget to support the Final Call newspaper. You can get a digital copy if you can't get it physically in your hand, and it's such a small fee for the truth. Imagine that.
Absolutely.
Now, if that was Satan's world, you'd be paying big money for that. But this is a small monthly fee, so small, and you can hear truth. You can hear the facts, actual facts, not lies, not gossip. You're hearing truth. And don't forget the Final Call radio, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I tell you, I just love listening to the Final Call radio. It's so wonderful, especially when you have children who sometimes may not want to sit down and listen to Minister Lewis Farrakhan lecture, but you just try and encourage them.
The snippets.
Yeah, the snippets.
Yeah.
And there's always something for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. I can guarantee there's something for everyone from the Honourable Minister Lewis Farrakhan. So don't forget, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the Final Call radio.
Yes.
And on that note, don't forget, every Thursday, the Image of Nation show. Tune in, as you know. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so next week.
No, not next week. The 25th.
Well, yeah, but next week, I'm not sure what we're going to do next week. But as far as the 25th is concerned, which is the week after next, there may not be an Image of Nation show on that particular day, because we may just really want to just be quiet over that.
Yes.
So-called Christmas period. We don't celebrate Christmas, dear family, but put you on standby from now that we may skip the Thursday, the 25th of December, and then come back to you in the new year of January, inshallah, if Allah spares our lives. Okay, so just to let you know that that may be happening, and look forward very much to being with you again.
That's right.
Same time, same place next week.
Yeah, and thank you all for taking the time to join us, and also taking the time to write the comments. As we said, after the show, we do read the comments. So thank you so much for your time. May Allah God continue to guide, bless, and protect you and your family. Stay safe. We are of the righteous, and we have a real life living God that has come to save us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Take care.
The real live living God who has come to encourage us to save ourselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Emily.
Take care.
Take care.